Mukam karoti vachalam pungum langayati girim yat kripa tamam bandi paramananda madhavam. I bow down to Krishna, the supreme bliss, by whose grace the lame scale mountains and the dumb become eloquent. May Krishna be the guide of our lives. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be upon you. We are studying this morning. Our subject is Thoughts on the Gita, part 66. We are studying the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. First, I shall give you a little introduction. Gita has 18 chapters, 700 verses. Each chapter is called Yoga, means union with God. "18 chapters, like 18 steps to reach the goal. The way the Bhagavad Gita has been set up is very interesting. First 6 chapters described who are you? Tvam, who are you? So Krishna reminded our true nature. The next 12 chapters, next 6 chapters from 7 to 12, who am I? Krishna described about himself, I am God. And the next 6 chapters from 13 to 18, you are also God. You and myself, we are not different. So according to Vedanta, first 6 chapters is Tvam. Next 6 chapter, Tat. Next 6 chapter, Tattvamosi, thou art that. Who are you? Well, who is God? And your true nature, that you are divine. That is the way you can get moksha, liberation. Another commentator says the first 6 chapters described Gauni Bhakti. Gauni Bhakti means how to cultivate devotion, how you can develop love for God. Through Karma Yoga, you will have to work hard. Next 6 chapters is how to practice devotion, Bhakti Yoga. How can I establish relationship with God? Very interesting. And the next 6 chapters is Jnana Yoga, Parabhakti. First Gauni Bhakti, preparatory devotion, then Bhakti, devotion, then Parabhakti, supreme devotion. Please show me what is supreme devotion? Love, lover, beloved become one. I want to love you. So this love unites the lover and the beloved. That is called supreme devotion, Parabhakti. Next comes Vishad. The first chapter described sorrow, grief, despondency. Most people start religion from that point. The Shankar philosopher says, being tormented by three kinds of desire, a question came in human mind, is there any end? How can I stop my suffering, misery forever? That is the first lesson of Shankar Karika by Ishwar Krishna. The philosophers came, enjoy. If you have desire, fulfill it. But there is no end. There is no end of human desires. You satisfy one, another is standing. Satisfy that one, next one is waiting for you. There is no end of human desires. I want to stop these desires forever, misery forever. But there is only one way. As Swamiji says, if you want to stop death, you must stop life so that you will not have to be born again. If you are born, you will have to die. So, in the second chapter, we find Shankha Yoga. This chapter describes what is Atman, what is non-Atman. Discrimination. And then it will give you conviction. You will love the Atman, the self, which is deathless, immortal. Love in this world is very temporary and very short. But permanent love comes from love for God. He never dies. In the third chapter, we find Krishna is describing work according to the injunction of the scriptures. But what shall I gain from work? What shall I achieve by my action? Chitta Shuddhi, purification of the mind. Your peace, your happiness depends upon the purification of the mind. Well, I'm all right, I have purified my mind. Next step in the Jnana Yoga, fourth chapter. Only you must know the secret of work. Nishkam karma, work without motive, and offer the fruits of action to God. We work, but we do not know the secret of work. We do not know the philosophy of work. We work to fulfill our desires. We do not work for God. Very few people do, of course. Not that we do not do at all. And the fifth chapter, Krishna says, karma sannyas, phalatag. Work incessantly, but don't seek the result of action. Then if the success comes, you will be happy. If you fail, you will be miserable. That is not the way. That is not karma yoga. That is karma bhoga, suffering from karma. Day and night, I am working hard and I am passing through worries and anxieties. What kind of karma is this? But Krishna says, learn how to work. Bhagavad Gita teaches how to work. And the next, when karma sannyas, when your action, result of action, you are working, just do your duty. Then do you know what happens? Karma sannyas, your mind will come down. It will be very tranquil, peaceful. That is the time you can practice meditation. That is the sixth chapter, Dhyana Yoga. We read it. Next, this religion, you see, death never stops. Death does not depend that when you will die, there is no time. You may be very young, you may die tomorrow. There is no fixed time for death. At the same time, there is no fixed time for practicing or starting religion. Oh, I am old, I cannot practice religion anymore. No. From today you start. Don't wait for the next day. In wherever you are, in what condition you are, in what situation you are, start. Krishna says, Salpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. If you practice a little dharma, it will save you from great disaster, from fear. So, as human beings are moving towards death, then one should practice religion at any time. Next question, what shall I gain by practicing religion? You are asking me to practice religion. What is religion? We do not know. And what shall we gain? The scripture says, compassion, love, and service to human beings is a great dharma. It's true religion. Serve others, love others. So, suppose you have started to serve others. You have misery. Now the thing just became reverse. Previously you had 1 unit misery because for yourself. Now you start to love and serve perhaps 100 people. So this 100 people's misery came to you. My goodness, so many people are hungry. They have no food. I must try to collect food and feed them. So your energy, your mind are diverting toward those suffering people. Do you know what is happening? You forgot your own misery. So these 100 miseries took away your misery. Previously it was self-centered. Only you are thinking about yourself. What religion can do? Religion can make one selfish. That unselfishness is God. That is the definition Swami Vivekananda gave in Karma Yoga. Selfishness is sin. So when your selfishness is completely eradicated from your mind, you will be divine. You will be very peaceful, happy. This is the reason we practice religion. Religion means realization. Religion means being and becoming. That is the introduction. Next, we shall start chapter 7, verse 4. In the verse 3, Krishna mentioned a very interesting lesson. Manushyanam sahasreshu koshit jatati siddhai jatadamapi siddhanam koshin mam vetti tattvataha. A few among thousands of men and women strive for perfection, and a few, perchance, among the blessed ones striving thus know me in reality. Millions of people come to religious life. Do you know what is Swami Vivekananda's statistics? Those who come to religious life, 80% people lead secular life. A little spiritual life, a little worldly life. They enjoy both. 80%. They are not full-time committed, they have no full-time commitment. 15% will be crazy. That is a big number. That means unbalanced, they do not know, confused. Some even go mad. 15%. So, and 5% people are more or less sincere, they're striving hard. Among those 5%, 1 or 2 may succeed. Among millions of people, only very few will succeed. But then shall we stop? There is a little chance for all of us. No. You must strive. If you make 1 step toward God, God will come 100 steps toward you. Little sincerity, that is enough. When your little baby says, Ma, Pa, cannot make a sentence, Ma, Pa, understand, my baby is calling me. So your sincere prayer from your heart, will be answered. I remember one story. Swami Vivekananda was traveling in Madras. There was a professor of chemistry. His name was K.G. Singaravelu Mudaliar, atheist. But very devoted to Swamiji. Do you know what Swamiji did one day? One day he grabbed his shoulder and says, K.G., it is Vivekananda says, God exists. And that changed that person's whole life. He just grabbed his shoulder. God exists. Vivekananda says. I have experienced. His whole life was changed. As Swami Vivekananda's life was changed when Sri Ramakrishna says, I have seen God, I can show you. His life was changed. Next section is a little philosophy. I shall first, let me read the verses first, then I shall explain. Then you will get a better perspective. Verse 4. Bhumirapo analo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacham ahankara iti amme bhinna prakriti rashtratha. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and egoism. Thus is my prakriti divided eightfold. My eightfold prakriti. Apareyam itastvainam prakritim viddhimeva param jiva bhutam mahabaho jaidam dharjati jagat. This is the lower prakriti, but different from it. No, O mighty armed, my higher prakriti, the principle of intelligence or consciousness by which this manifested universe is sustained. First, let us explain these two verses. Prakriti. God has two departments, Vidya Maya, Avidya Maya. Knowledge Maya, ignorance Maya. What does knowledge Maya do? What does knowledge Maya do? That Maya will force you to do spiritual things, will force you to practice meditation, will force you to do good things, will turn your minds toward God. That is Vidya Maya. And Avidya Maya, just the opposite. Go, drink, take drug, go gamble, go do all sorts of worldly things, that your mind will go downward. These are the two departments. Sometimes we hate Maya, criticize Maya. No, don't criticize Maya. Maya is helping us all the time, giving you suffering, pain, misery, disease, death, all those things. Maya is telling you, you have chosen the wrong path, go to the other path. You have come to the wrong path, go to the other direction, go to God. Sometimes these sufferings and sickness and all these things are angels unawares. They are helping us, our minds turn toward God. Vidya Maya, Avidya Maya. Krishna is talking here 24 principles of Shankara philosophy. Please try to visualize. Here is the Purusha, consciousness, and here is the Prakriti, nature. This nature has three gunas: Sattva, calmness; Rajas, activity, restlessness; Tamas, inertia. So due to the vicinity of the Purusha, this Prakriti vibrates. Why? Nobody knows. That is the Shakti. It starts to move. From consciousness, I'm talking about. Consciousness is behind. That is bringing me energy so that I can express myself to you. My intellect, my mind, my senses are all alert. They are working. Because the Shakti, the power, consciousness is behind. Without that, as Sri Ramakrishna said, Potato and eggplant jump into the cooking pot, turn off the flame of the gas, they will collapse. So all of our jumping and working and all these things you see, because of the consciousness behind. That consciousness is God. This is the concept of God according to Vedanta. So the moment the Prakriti vibrates, creation evolves. The first manifestation of Prakriti is cosmic intelligence, Mahat Tattva. From the cosmic intelligence, next manifestation is Aham, I. Individuality, at that time individuality comes. Here is cosmic, from cosmic, individual. Thus, you entered into the domain of individuality. I am individual. Next, from there comes 5, we call it tanmatras. And then this side, as he says, from that ahankara comes 16 vikriti, modifications. What does it do? What do they do? 5 organs of knowledge, 5 organs of action, 10, 5 tanmatras, elements. But to show me what is elements? Space, air, water, fire, water, and the earth. 5 elements, they come. So this 15 plus mine is 16. And then all those things come, that is that they counted 24 principles, and Purusha is separate. But show me, why are you talking all these things? Talking is showing that this is the Prakriti, your nature, and it is your Purusha. We want a divorce. That we want. But why do you want divorce? That is you can only get liberation. Otherwise, Prakriti is dancing in our minds. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy. So we want to stop this dance of Prakriti in our minds. We want to say, Prakriti, you stay away from me, I am the Atma. That is called divorce. You stay, I cannot kill you. But I am not going to entangle myself with you. But very difficult. Do you know why? We are all hypnotized by Maya. We shall talk about it. Krishna will tell us. Devi echa gunamoyi mama maya durattaya mami bhaji prabhaddante mayametam tarantite. Listen. It will come in the 7th verse or something like that. My Maya is divine. Those who take refuge in me, very difficult to transcend. But those who take refuge in me, I help them to cross this turbulent ocean of Maya. We are all tossed in this turbulent ocean of Maya. This commentator made a beautiful remark. You are tied with handcuffs. And if you try to make yourself free from the handcuff, the more you will try, the more you will be miserable. You cannot do it because it is locked. It is beyond your control. At that time, what will you do? You will have to seek the God. Please remove the handcuff, otherwise I cannot eat. He will come with a key, will unlock your handcuff so that you can go to the dining room and can eat. So you will have to pray somebody to remove this handcuff from your hand so that you can function. Same thing. We are all bound by the trap of Maya. So who can remove the bondage? God. That Krishna says, Mamika Sharanam Braja, take refuge in me. I shall remove all of your bondages. My Maya has bound you, but I have the power to release you. That is the reason we read the Bhagavad Gita. We feel a very strong relationship with God. He is very human. He knows our problems. We have two basic problems: fear and delusion. Bhai or moha. Krishna removed those two basic problems from Arjuna's mind. For the reason, Gita is a very, very interesting. When you read Gita, as if you will feel that Krishna is talking to you. You have a problem? Here is a person who is telling you what to do. So I told you the 24 cosmic principles. Problem? We want to reconcile, we want to unite between the knower and the known, between Purusha and Prakriti, the self and non-self. The Western philosophers tried thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, and wrote various books on philosophy. Do you know the problem? If you say both are separate, Purusha is separate, Prakriti is separate, do you know what does it mean? That means both are eternal. Both are infinite. There cannot be two infinite. One always will limit the other. It is illogical. If you see two things are infinite, it cannot be. Infinite is only one. So, that is not the solution. But what is the solution? Solution is the Gita way. What do you mean? Here is a bird. It has two wings. These two wings helping the bird to fly. But the bird's body is very important. That bird's body is God. And these two wings are his two Prakriti. Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti is matter. And Para Prakriti is consciousness. You have only consciousness, but no body. You cannot function. You have a beautiful body, but no consciousness. You cannot function. We need two. Consciousness. Just try to understand this way, how this philosophy works. We want both. Consciousness and matter. Very, very interesting that how this Prakriti and Purusha function. Jnana and Vijnana, do you know what Jnana Vijnana? Jnana means knowledge. We have the knowledge of watch. This watch gives me the time. But I really do not know what is this, what is inside the watch and how it works. The watchmaker, the watch repairer, they have a special knowledge. They can open the watch, they know how the spring works, how the battery works, all nitty-gritty of the watch that manufacturer and the repair person knows. You do not know. You only buy the watch and sometimes change the battery. That's all. You really do not know anything about the watch. So, I have the knowledge of the watch because I have one, but I do not know the interior mechanism of this watch. So the person who knows the interior mechanism, he is Vijnani. He knows. And he will tell you whether it will work or not. Sri Ramakrishna gave another example. You drink milk. You have seen milk. You have touched milk. But you have never drunk milk. You have never drunken any milk. Do you know what does it mean? It means you did not get any nourishment. So a Jnani knows the milk, perhaps has seen the milk, and can write a book on the milk, but never drank milk. So, but the Vijnani drank milk, got nourishment, so he is more knowledgeable than Jnani. That is called Jnana and Vijnana. Vishesh Jnana. I know it. It works. So according to Gita, Purusha and Prakriti are not two different things. they are, is another person, he is called Purushottama. That Purushottama is Brahman, is Godhead, is God. As I already told you, he has two departments, Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya, that is, with that Maya he plays. I shall not bring too many philosophy, then you will. Sometimes it is very confusing. In the Mundaka Upanishad also we find there are two kinds of knowledge. The disciple came and asked the teacher, could you teach me anything knowing which everything can be known? I want to know that thing, knowing which everything can be known. The teacher said, there are two types of knowledge. De vidde vidita be paracha paracha, tatra para, tatra para, Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Chanda, Jyotisham, Niruktamiti, Tatra para, Jayata, Daksharam, Adhigaimati. Let me tell you, Apara Vidya, Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, whatever university education you find, physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever departments, educational departments are in this world, are all opera, lower knowledge. Why? Because that education is connected with the created things. In this worldly things, physical science, they are connected only with physical things. They are created. They are opera, lower. What is the higher knowledge? Yatad aksharam adhigammate, through which one can know the unknown, the infinite, God. That is Paravidya. That is the reason Sri Ramakrishna didn't go to school. That Aparavidya will bring good food, comfort, but it will not bring you God. So I do not want that education. So he became dropout. I want that education, that knowledge will show me God, will help me to realize God. Jiva Bhutam Mahabhaho, Jiva Bhutam. Krishna is telling you, these verses, we are always connected with God, but we are unaware of it. We are always connected with God, but we are unaware of it. Why? Because of that Maya. I am beautiful, I am learned, I am this, I am Mr. So-and-so, I am Mrs. So-and-so. We are limiting our infinite nature by I and my. Swamiji, in one lecture, told an American, Madam, it is a big mistake that you think that you are American and you are a woman. Why are you limiting your infinite nature? You are that supreme being. He is Jivatma and Paramatma. Brahman, through the three gunas, through the tamasic Maya, created this whole universe and the world. And through Rajasic Maya, created these beings, conscious, moving human beings. And through Sattvic Maya, he created God, Brahman. But Swami, what is the difference between God and Brahman? Brahman, when he is endowed with Maya, he becomes God, Ishvara. At that time, he creates, preserves, and destroys. So God, one of our teacher made a good remark, God is, Brahman has no dress, pure consciousness, but God, when he takes a form, he has some clothing, that is Maya. He covered himself with Yogamaya. And with that Maya power, he works. A Lokottam, it is Lokottara Purusha, the God. Do you know what Sri Ramakrishna said? Here is the bell fruit. You only take the inner flesh that we eat. And we reject the shell, we reject the seed, we reject everything, bell fruit. So Sri Ramakrishna says, God is the sum total of essential and non-essential. If you remove the shell, you remove some part. So the entire bell is God. It has essential, non-essential. It has Vidyamaya, Avidyamaya. It has good, it has bad. But why does God create only bad things? Only good, only He is supposed to create only good things and no bad things. Only happiness, no misery. No death, only life. It would be disaster. It would be disaster. Could you imagine that all this 400 million Americans, they have no death? 100 years, 150 years, what will you do? Build nursing homes and go to Obamacare. Bas. Whole America will be full of nursing homes. Because people do not die. We had a devotee, she used to tell Swami, I'm 94, I need a new body. I want to have a new body, I want to change it. She was a very brave woman. That is the way we balance. If it is only white things, there will be no photography. If only black things, there will be no photography. So black and white, we get the photographs. If only happiness day and night, you laugh and laugh and laugh, what will happen? You will be bored. Sometimes you cry, sometimes laugh. Have both. Only if you have one kind of food in this world, it would be very boring. We need variety. That Vedanta makes sense in this respect. Swamiji described this philosophy through macrocosm and microcosm. This vast universe you see, and you see your own body. Are there any difference? No. This whole world consists of 5 elements. Your body, our bodies are also made with those 5 elements. There is no difference. The microcosm and macrocosm are built in the same pattern. If you know one mind, you know all minds in this world. If you know gold, you know all modifications of gold. You know earring, nose ring, necklace, bracelet. These are all modifications. Only we must know gold. Do you know how does it work? When I see your necklace, I do not see the gold. But when I see gold, I do not see necklace. That is the way it works. Oh, we have a beautiful necklace. At that time, I am not seeing that it is made with gold or silver. It is amazing how our consciousness, when we focus on you, how it changes. Very interesting philosophy. So, microcosm and the macrocosm. This Prakriti, vast universe, and this individual universe. In this respect, Vedanta is like a science. If you know one mind, you know all minds in the world. You know one diabetic patient in the hospital, you know all diabetic patients, what kind of medicine should be given. Eko vijnane sarva vijnanam bhavati iti. If you know clay, you know all modifications of clay. If you know gold, you know all modifications of gold. If you know God, you know everything in this world. You will be all knowing. Short book go, short book it. This Swami Chetanananda made a comment. The West developed philosophy, even from ancient Greek times, based on external nature. That is called speculative philosophy. Western religions also developed their theology based on knowledge of external nature. Western physical science also is a study of external nature. Since it is a thorough investigation through scientific methods and has produced tangible results, it has overthrown the erstwhile dominance of Western philosophy and Western theology. This resulted in the growth of skepticism, agnosticism, and atheism in the world. Some years ago, an interesting item I read in a Western book. A Western philosopher was to deliver a public lecture. A Western Christian theologian was the president of the meeting. The theologian, in the course of his opening speech said, "When I introduce to you our speaker, the philosopher, I shall take this opportunity to define philosophy for you. It is searching for a black cat in a dark room which is not there." I now request our philosopher to give his lecture. He was embarrassed and he began his speech by telling that our friend, the theologian, has defined my subject, but he did not define his subject. I shall, however, define it for you all. Theology is the searching for a black cat in a dark room which is not there, but claiming that he has found it. It was a funny. The black cat isn't there, but the theologians, they think that. One of my friends in Connecticut, his father was a congressman. He told a funny story. He said when the Russian astronaut went above the space, they splashed down in Siberia. Brezhnev and Khrushchev went and asked, "Hey, behind, above the space, have you seen God?" They said, "Yes." "Well, we know it, but don't tell it to anybody. Otherwise the communism will fall, you see. Russian communism will fall. They said, "We have seen God, but don't tell it to anybody. Just to stop it." Then these two astronauts went to Rome and had a public audience with the Pope. That Pope took the astronaut in a private chamber and said, "When you went above the space, have you seen God?" Because he promised to Brezhnev that no. He said no. "But I know it, but don't tell it to anybody. Otherwise the Catholicism will fall." It was such a funny story. My friend told another story. There is an essay competition in Russia. Name of the subject, there is no God. So many people wrote the papers. One girl got the first prize. So while receiving the paper, she said, "Thanks God that I got the first prize." The person who wrote "there is no God," she is thanking God that I got the first prize. Bertrand Russell's Swami quoted, "Knowing is power, knowledge is power, but it is power for evil as much as for good. It follows that unless men increase in wisdom as much as in knowledge, increase of knowledge will be increase of sorrow. This is exactly the message that the Gita conveys to humanity in the modern age. Humanity may roll up space like a piece of leather, still there will be no end of sorrow without knowing one's inner divinity. Do you know how does it work? Vedanta is very individualistic in one sense. First, you realize yourself. How did you invent how the shoe? Do you know how they invented the shoe? A king said, my feet get dust, cover my whole kingdom with leather so that I can walk over it. The minister said, it will be very expensive, O king. Let us cover your leg with leather. That is the way the shoe was invented. Let me cover your feet with leather so your feet will not get any dust, with dirt. So, if you are pure and perfect, you will see the world pure and perfect. The world will change. When the self-controlled spiritual realizes in this very body the truth of Brahman through the truth of the Atman, self-luminous as light, then knowing the divinity which is unborn, eternal, and untouched by all the modifications of nature, becomes free from all sins, says the Upanishad. Next verse. Etad yonini bhutani sarvani upadharaya aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata. Know that these two prakritis are the womb of all beings. I am the origin and dissolution of the whole universe. When you see the creation, what do you see? There must be a creator. This is the chair. I see a chair. There must be a creator. It is created. Cushion. It has been created. This house. It has been created. There must be a creator. We see the sun, the moon, the mountain, the ocean, trees, plants. There must be a creator. But we do not see him. The person who created the air, do you see that person? No. The person who created water, do you see him? No. He is behind his prakriti. You know, sometimes the rishis, ancient time, they saw the beautiful creation. They were thinking, Kasmai devaya havishabhidheima. To whom shall we pour this oblation? Who has created me? Kutoyam visrishti. It is wonder, this whole creation. There must be some creator. The Krishna says, who is the creator? I am the creator. Etat jonini. Jonini bhutani. All these beings you see, this universe you see around, both Jod and Chetan, both matter and consciousness. Aham Krishna Jagata Prabhava Pralayastata. I am the creator and I am the dissolver, destroyer of this whole universe. We ask this question, what is behind this world? The word cause is used in the sense in which it is used in Shankar philosophy and also in modern scientific thought. Cause and effect are non-different. That is the idea of cause. The cause continues in the effect. It is not external, and therefore I am the cause of this universe through the twofold nature, ordinary nature, which we study in physical science, and extraordinary nature, which we study as intelligence or consciousness, is the science of spirituality. Upanishad further tells us, all these beings you see, tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat, Upanishad tells us, after creating all these things, Brahman, entered into all beings as individual consciousness. I sometimes give this illustration to make people understand. Here are 4 billion cups of water, and here is the sun. You see 4 billion reflected suns. So you are a reflected sun, I am a reflected sun. All these beings are all reflected suns, means God, reflected God. God is one, but he has become many through Maya power. Eko syam bhusyam prajayeti. I am one alone. I feel lonely. I need many. So we are all children of God and our Father is playing. We are all playing in this world. This world is a stage. If you read Panchadoshi, there is a chapter called Natoko Deepa. This world is a theater. We are all acting. If you act well, you will get applause. If you do not act well, you will get a boo. People will say, oh, no good. You are not a good actor or actress. We are all really acting. I am acting as a Swami, another was acting as a doctor, engineer, computer. All people are just mother, father, child, so on. They're all acting. We need some billions also. Otherwise, acting will be boring. Here I call it Cinderella syndrome. The more her stepmother became angry, mad at Cinderella, all audiences' love and affection goes to that person. You need a terrible person, a villain. Otherwise, her character will not shine. This is the way the world goes. We are all acting. The president of Home of Truth, Miss Bell, told Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji, this world is a school and we have come here for education. Swamiji says, who told you, madam, the world is a school? The world is a circus. Circus? Yes. What do you mean? We are all clowns and we are tumbled here. Why do you do that? Because we love it. This world is a big circus. Our Adi Sharananda ji used to tell a funny, he used to tell about Maya. He says, we have gone to see a show of a magician and you bought the ticket paying $50. You are in the audience and the magician is on the stage. He brought a 16-year-old girl and put her into a box. Then he took a chainsaw and he will demonstrate, taking a piece of wood, he will demonstrate how sharp is the saw is. He will cut it. Then the girl is lying down on the box, and the magician then will cut the whole box into 2 pieces, and then he will separate it. Within 3 minutes, you will find that girl is coming from the back of the audience. Hi, I am here. These people know this girl will not be cut. But you have to spend $50 to see it. To see it. You have to spend $50 to see a thing which will not happen. This is called Maya. Very interesting subject, I tell you frankly. Creation. In Western people sometimes do not like to believe that God is the destroyer. Creator is all right, but God also destroys. They do not believe. Vedanta has a solution. Good and bad are not two different things. Same water current, when it is upstream, we call it good. When it is downstream, we call it bad. But the water current is the same. So good and bad are nothing but the same energy. The bad energy put the bomb and killed several people and maimed so many people in Boston just a few weeks ago. That is bad. Good. People from all over Boston came forward to help the wounded people. Some gave their bloods, food, brought their relatives, come to our home. All Boston homes are open for all. American people are very generous, very helpful. They always come forward first. They came and bring the situation normal. So I am just telling you that same Shakti, same energy came through these two boys, and hundreds of Shakti power came to rescue the wounded people, those who are suffering. I sometimes see how these two powers are working. All over the world, you see how these two powers are working. Inside you, there are two powers are working. You have good tendencies, you have bad tendencies. Who will win? That is the question. Sometimes our bad tendency wins, sometimes good tendency wins. So we are all continuously fighting and struggling. That is called life. What is life? Struggle. Only two persons do not struggle. The dead and the illumined. An illumined person transcends both good and evil. And dead, he has nothing to do. He does not struggle at all. He is dead. In between, we'll have to struggle. So, God is in everybody. He is creating, preserving, destroying. You are a dualist, you can be a playmate of God. And if you are a Jnani, you think I am that Brahman. So, this is the way we shall understand this way of knowledge with realization. That is the name of the chapter. The way of knowledge with realization. Jnana, Vijnana, Yoga. Thank you. Matmame Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Virajavi Papma Bhuyasam Antaratma Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Virajavi Papma Bhuyasam Paramatma Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Virajavi Papma Bhuyasam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May my body become pure and free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my soul become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all.